everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to my spring TBR. So I don't do monthly TBRs, I do seasonal ones because what am I if not the most seasonal person you'll ever meet? Nevertheless, I like to do seasonal ones. I do one in winter, spring, summer, fall, you get the idea. So these are books I'm really hoping to read over the next 3 months. So I always break these up into new releases and kind of backlist books. And more particularly, I will be doing new releases and pulling books from my 25 books I want to read in 2025. I did a whole video about that, and these are just books that have been on my TBR for a while that I would like to read, whether they came out last year or before. A lot of them are from last year, but I've been trying to read at least 2 of them a month, and so far I'm doing good. I think I've read either 6 or 7 of them so far, so I'm feeling pretty happy about that one. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the new releases I want to really read. But yeah, let's just get on to what I plan to read in the months of March, April, and May, aka the spring season here in the United States. First up, we're going to start off with new releases because there is quite a few coming out that I will be for sure reading. These are ones that are different from my anticipated spring releases. These are ones like I am making a priority to read. First up, I have Promise Me Sunshine by Kara Bastone. She wrote Ready or Not, which was released last year and I loved. This is about a girl that loses her best friend and kind of the grief that encompasses it. And she meets this guy that, you know, has also been through some grief, and he kind of goes this journey with her. And I've heard it's beautiful, very poignant. I've heard it's very beautiful, very raw, so I'm very excited to read this one. Also nervous because it's hard to read books about grief. You know, we all go through grief very, very differently. It's a very personal thing, but I have heard really good things about this one. Next up, of course, is one of my most anticipated, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is Haymitch's story. I'm very, very excited for this one because I did like The Ballad of a Songbird and Snakes. It was interesting going back. I do always enjoy that so immensely much, but Haymitch is, like, I'm there for it. I hope this will spawn a Finnick story, a Joanne story, like, anybody really, like, I'll freaking take it. So I'm very, very excited for it because that is where my love of reading started, really, with Harry Potter. And then a few years later, I really got into like Divergent, Hunger Games, that type of thing. Like I was into it deep with the dystopian. Like if you have been on BookTube for a while, you know it kind of all really began with a lot of dystopian young adult books, and that is where a lot of us predominantly read, myself included. Like that was my bread and butter, and that and then contemporary YA. So, you know, it's gonna be nice nostalgia visit to go back. Will it be a beautiful book? Probably not. It's gonna be freaking heartbreaking and intense, but I'm gonna enjoy it. Next up, I have this book, Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. This is a thriller book. It's like kind of a love letter to true crime. It's about a girl that loses her dad, and with that grief, she kind of morphs it into this true crime obsession, in particular this one case, and she is determined to solve it before the cops do. And so now it's told many years later of what actually happened. So I'm very intrigued by that. She writes really darker kind of thrillers, so we'll see. Next up, we have Sirens by Amelia Hart. This cover wins for like the most beautiful cover of the year. I cannot wait to hold this in my hands. She wrote Wayward a couple years ago, which I read and enjoyed. It's very short, kind of 3 short stories, and they all kind of intertwine. This one, if you can guess, is about sirens, and that's all I know. That's all I want to know. I have seen the reviews on it not being the best, but we'll have to see because I'm for sure going to read this. Of course, Berkeley always loves to give us Abby Hemezan and Emily Henry in 1 month, and I will be eternally grateful for them always because April is like usually my best month for reading. I say that, but February, man, this month killed it for February, but maybe April will be a close second. So we have Say You Remember Me by Abby Hemezan. I don't know anything about this book. I think it's about like this guy that's like a veterinarian. No, I don't know. I think it's about this guy that's a doctor or veterinarian or something. He's like perfect, and then he opens his mouth and he's a jerk, and then there's a girl, and I don't need to know. I truly don't. I will read whatever she writes. Like, I don't care. She can write a freaking direction. She can write directions to one city to another, and I would find it like the best directions I've ever read in my freaking life. Just how it is. Same with Emily Henry's book, Great Big Beautiful Life. I do believe this is about 2 writers that are competing to tell somebody else's life story. I could be wrong, probably am, but again, like Abby Hemezan, I don't care what she writes. Don't care. I'll read it. I don't need to know anything about it. I'll just read it, buy it, love it. That's exactly how it's going to go, probably. We have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This is a sequel to Phantasma, which was released last year, which I really actually pleasantly enjoyed, which I wasn't expecting. It's kind of a darker romance. This one follows a sister from the main character of that book. So this one is like kind of, they said, Ready or Not, like the movie, but kind of dark and twisted. It's about this girl that gets caught in this family's like kind of curse and game in Europe, and I'm very excited for it. Sounds like it's going to be a fun time. I like to read scary books when it's bright outside so I don't get so scared at night. Am I the only one? Like when it comes to fall, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to read scary books. I'll read them in the freaking 12 p.m. at daytime. Love it. Then I have This Is Not a Game by Kelly Mullen. This one comes out in April. This is a it says a unique locked door debut with a memorable intergenerational relationship and gaming angle. So it's kind of like a take on Agatha Christie. The cover really intrigued me, so I'm hoping to really enjoy that one. And then I also have My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which I did not think was coming out till June, but it's coming out in April. No, it's coming out in May. Freaking A, man. An unforgettable, funny, deeply moving tale of four teenagers whose friendship creates a bond so powerful that it changes a stranger's life 25 years later. That's all I know about it. That's all I want to know. I love Frederick Bachman. Bigger Town and Man Called Uwe still remain some of my favorite books to this day, so I'm very interested in checking that one out. And then I think, is that all of them I have that I can think of? I have Main Characters by Hannah Ornstein, which I want to check out. This is like an adult Parent Trap is what it's being pitched as. And I was like, yes. And then I think we have It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. This is going to be a great book for May to kick off into the summertime. I don't know much about it. That's okay. I don't need to know much about it, but here we are. So moving on to the backlist books I want to read, in particular the 25 books I want to read in 2025. I have 6 or 7 I picked out because I'm trying to read at least 2 a month. That's been kind of my trajectory. For March, I am switching one out. I am going to plan to read Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. I'm actually listening to that, and I'm really invested in it so far. I'm really enjoying it, so I'm definitely going to be reading that one. Then I have The Twilight Garden by Sarah Nisha Adams. I bought this earlier this year at Barnes & Noble because there was a card that was like, if you're a backyard gardener, this is a must read. And I was like, yes, I am. And so I thought this will be the perfect book to kick off near spring. It's basically about 2 wearing London neighbors unite to resurrect a neglected city garden, this quiet, joyful novel. So I'm not expecting much from this, but just kind of a whimsical, adorable backyard kind of garden vibe, which is it, I don't know if that's a thing or not, but either way, that's it. So I also would like to read in vain of that as well as The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Again, Barnes & Noble got me because this is this beautiful edition. I haven't heard the best things about this, but I want to at least try it. So this one is on a quiet street in Dublin. A lost bookshop is waiting to be found. And so a vanishing bookshop casts its spell. 3 unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved book. It just sounds really adorable. So these 2 are kind of like my wild cards. Like, I don't know if I'll love them. I'm hoping to, but I'm not expecting to. Then I have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I really would like to read, but she is, she's a big one. She is, how long is this book? Oh gosh, like 600 pages. It's a lot, but I've heard just so many amazing things about it. Like, if you like Forward Wing, if you like Akatar, if you like da-da-da, read this. And I'm like, I do, I like those things, so I want to check it out. It says, do not touch the sword, do not touch the key, do not touch the gate. I think it's about Fae, steamy times. I don't know. I do love the flop of it, though. That's got it coming, so I'd like to read that. Hopefully I will. Then I have a couple of Kate Quinn books on that list, and I would like to read one of them, so I'm going to try The Huntress. This one is, in the aftermath of war, the hunter becomes the hunted. It's about a girl that, it's like after World War II, so I don't know much about it, but I've read one of Kate Quinn books before. It's historical, and I enjoy them, so I'm hoping to like it. So how many books is that? Okay, well, I'm almost done. Then I finally need to read This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. I've been meaning to read a Kennedy Ryan book. This one I know is about a single father of 2 autistic kids, which if you don't know, my oldest child is autistic, so I'm going to connect with this. And a mother that is facing a divorce she never planned. So I'm really hoping to probably cry and fall in love with this book. And lastly, the last kind of backlist book I would like to get to is All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. I don't know if this won for Best Mystery, no it didn't, but it was nominated for Best Mystery Thriller. So this one is, it's 1975, the Vietnam War is ending. Oh, I just finished a book last month about the Vietnam War. And basically, I think a soaring thriller, an epic love story that spans decades. And so I think it's about like a boy that, I don't know. But I'm hoping I'll like it more of The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I tried reading that last year, DNF that thing. How it won so many awards is beyond me because I found it so incredibly boring. I hope this will not suffer the same fate. I don't know. Stay tuned. But either way, those are all the books I'm planning to read this spring. Whether or not I'll read them, I'll have to let you know. I'm hoping so. But just from pulling all these books off my TBR shelf, one shelf is completely gone. So I hope it happens. So I would love to know what you're planning to read this spring. Do you like to read lighter things or read darker things? Let me know. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.